Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. 2 top Chinese superstars, a sudden blackout from the public eye, and now one blurred mountain photo that has the whole internet asking the same question. Were Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan secretly spotted on a private mountain retreat together? The picture is unclear, but the feeling it leaves behind is sharp. And tonight, we're breaking down what's being said, why this moment has gone viral, and what it might quietly reveal. Not just about them, but about fame itself. Hi everyone, welcome back to Star Watch Now. Before we begin, a quick and important note. Nothing in this story is officially confirmed. What we're discussing is a viral rumor-style narrative based on a blurred photo and online witness chatter. So we'll approach this gently, no exaggeration, no harmful claims, and no invasion of privacy. We're here to explore the public conversation and the emotional meaning people are attaching to it. Alright, let's step into the mist. Silence can be louder than any headline. That was the strange feeling in the days before the photo appeared. A quiet that didn't feel accidental. Both Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan slipped out of the usual public rhythm at the same time. No fresh airport clips, no casual staff sightings, no small online traces that fans normally pick up like breadcrumbs. For 2 stars whose lives are often measured in minutes and movements, a shared gap like that naturally becomes a question mark. And when a question mark hangs long enough, people start to look up. Not because they want drama for drama's sake, but because they care. The absence felt like a pause taken under pressure, not a performance. It made fans wonder whether something heavier than work was resting on their shoulders. In a world that rarely allows celebrities to disappear without punishment, even a short blackout can feel like an act of quiet self-protection. That's why the silence mattered. It created emotional space, the kind that prepares the public to interpret a single blurred image as something meaningful, even before anyone knows what it truly shows. When the photo arrived, it didn't arrive as evidence, it arrived as emotion. A blurred snapshot of 2 figures on a misty mountain path might look insignificant to a stranger. But to millions who follow every stage, every role, every strain of effort, the lack of clarity became part of the shock. The image was not polished or staged. It felt like a moment that wasn't meant to be public, which is exactly why it spread. Our minds lean toward unfinished pictures. We want to complete them. Fans didn't just see silhouettes. They saw possibilities. They saw relief. They saw a rare crack in the armor of celebrity life. The photo hit like lightning because it came at the end of a silence, and because it refused to explain itself. It asked the audience to lean in. In a culture of high-definition exposure, the blur felt intimate, a reminder that private life still exists somewhere beyond the camera's reach. Whether the figures are real or misread, the impact is undeniable. One imperfect image made the internet feel something at once tender, restless, and unavoidably human. If the story had unfolded in a hotel lobby or a bright city street, it would have been dismissed as routine. But the mountains changed the emotional grammar of the rumor. Mountains are not a backdrop for publicity. They are a refuge from it. The setting suggested distance from noise, from schedules, from the constant pressure to be on. Even the way the photo looked, damp air, fog, a narrow trail, carried the mood of retreat. Remote places hold a particular kind of truth. You choose them when you don't want to be noticed, and when your body and mind are asking for stillness. For fans, that setting instantly reframed the rumor from scandal to sanctuary. It implied that if these 2 people were there, they were not chasing attention but escaping it. The countryside image also tapped into something universal. Most of us associate mountains with healing, with silence that lets you breathe properly again. So the location didn't just hint at where they might be. It hinted at why. And that why, rest, repair, privacy, is what made people listen with softened hearts rather than sharpened suspicion. The internet's response was predictable, yet revealing. Fans became detectives, but not the cold, cynical sort. More like soft detectives, searching not only for proof but for meaning. They zoomed into jacket folds and body shapes, compared walking posture, replayed the image in their minds from every angle. On the surface, it looked like a typical fandom investigation. Underneath, it was something else. A communal attempt to protect a story that felt comforting. People were not just asking, "Is it them?" They were asking, "Are they all right?" That's the emotional center of these investigations. In modern celebrity culture, fans learn to read tiny signs because official narratives don't always offer reassurance. The soft detective instinct comes from care mixed with helplessness. When you can't reach someone you admire, you try to understand them through fragments. It's imperfect, sometimes unfair, but deeply human. This collective analysis also creates belonging. Viewers feel part of a shared vigil, not a hunt to expose, but a hope to witness. The detective work becomes a way to say, "We're here, we notice, and we want you safe." What truly held people wasn't the blur itself, but the ordinary life imagined around it. Rumors of quiet snack stalls, slow walks, simple clothing. These details spread faster than any dramatic theory. Why? Because they feel like home. In a world where stars are often reduced to campaigns and performances, everyday moments restore their humanity. Fans repeated the idea of the two men choosing snacks, pausing by a river, moving without an audience because those scenes are soft enough to hold. They allow viewers to picture them as people, not symbols. Importantly, these small moments are the opposite of scandal language. There's no accusation in them, no sharp edge, only life, and that makes them emotionally safe to share. They represent what many fans quietly want for the people they follow. A chance to be normal, to be unguarded, to feel air on their faces without obligation. Even if these details are unverified, their popularity reflects a collective longing. The audience isn't hungry for dirt here. They're hungry for tenderness. The more ordinary the moment, the more precious it becomes, because ordinary life is exactly what fame steals first. Instead of asking only what the photo implies about a relationship, it may be wiser to ask what it implies about survival. A reset trip is not about secrecy. It is about repair. For top-tier celebrities, especially those under relentless scrutiny, rest isn't a luxury. It's maintenance. Sometimes the body demands silence in ways careers cannot negotiate. A place like a mountain retreat becomes a kind of pressure valve. A space where you don't owe anyone a smile, a statement, or a perfect posture. The idea of a reset trip also aligns with what audiences know, even if they don't say it aloud. The entertainment world consumes people quickly. It rewards output, not recovery. So when a rumor appears that two stars stepped out of the machine together, many viewers interpret it less as a secret and more as a small act of self-care. There is deep dignity in that. If it's true, it could mean they chose to protect their inner lives for a moment. If it's not true, the story still resonates because the need for reset is real. The rumor becomes a mirror, reflecting back how badly we all crave rest in a world that never stops demanding. Stories go viral when they carry a human heartbeat. In this case, it was the alleged gesture on the rocky trail, one person slipping slightly, the other reaching out without thinking. A movement so small that, if you saw it in daily life, you wouldn't even comment. Yet that is precisely why it mattered. Felt instinctive. And instinct suggests closeness, not performance. Fans reacted not because the gesture proved anything, but because it celebrated something quietly rare, unguarded care. Under the spotlight, affection is often scripted, filtered, or strategic. An unplanned reflex, however, belongs to real life. It speaks in a language older than words. Even for those who remain skeptical about the rumor, the emotional power of that detail makes sense. People want to believe that their favorite artists are not alone in the weight they carry. A steadying hand becomes symbolic of friendship, solidarity, and safety. Whether it was truly them or not, the gesture stands as a reminder. The moments that move us most aren't grand declarations. They're quiet acts of looking after someone when no one is watching. Nighttime stories always feel more intimate, and this rumor is no exception. The supposed bonfire scene. Two people sitting quietly outside a lodge, sharing snacks, speaking softly, then falling into comfortable silence. Captured fans because it sounded like peace. Not theatrical peace, but the kind that arrives when exhaustion loosens its grip for a while. A bonfire is primitive and honest. It asks nothing of you except to sit close and be warm. Stars above a mountain are not like city stars. They are larger, sharper, almost humbling. So the rumor of them watching the sky in silence became a kind of emotional poem. It offered a vision of rest that feels almost impossible in their daily lives. Whether this happened or not, the public response tells us something important. Audiences are hungry for stories that don't punish celebrities for being human. The bonfire rumor doesn't portray them as untouchable icons. It portrays them as tired young men reclaiming quiet. And that quiet feels sacred. It reminds viewers that true closeness often lives not in loud moments, but in the ability to share silence without needing to fill it. The comfort doesn't come from certainty. It comes from empathy. Most viewers are carrying their own fatigue, from work, from relationships, from the constant noise of modern life. So when they see a story about two people stepping away to breathe, they feel permission to breathe as well. Fans may love Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan for their talent, but they also love them as symbols of endurance. Those symbols, however, are still human. A rumored retreat offers a gentle fantasy that endurance can be met with care, and that pressure can be met with rest. The story also comforts people because it is not cruel. It doesn't trade in humiliation or accusation. It trades in softness. In a climate where celebrity news is often sharp and polarized, softness becomes radical. It restores a sense that fame doesn't erase the right to live quietly. For many fans, the blurred photo felt like a private door briefly left ajar, not to invite intrusion, but to reassure that healing is possible. That's why millions held onto it. Even if the image is uncertain, the feeling it inspired is real. A shared wish that the people we admire can still find calm somewhere beyond the noise. Whether the photo truly shows them or not, the larger meaning is worth keeping. This story invites a more mature kind of fandom, one that can hold curiosity without entitlement. It reminds us that privacy is not suspicious. It is necessary. If the rumor is true, then the most respectful response is not to demand confirmation, but to appreciate the reminder that rest matters. If it is false, then we still learn something about ourselves. We are moved by images of peace because we need peace too. In either case, the lesson is gentle and clear. Celebrities are not machines built to feed public appetite. They are people who grow tired, who carry invisible weight, who deserve moments that belong only to them. The mountains in this story act like a metaphor for boundaries, a place where the world becomes quiet enough to remember who you are. Perhaps that is why a blurred image felt so sharp. It pointed towards something many of us forget. Healing is not a headline, but a human right. And maybe the kindest way to follow anyone's journey is to let their quiet moments remain quiet, while still wishing them well from a distance.